You walk into a space, you see materials, you recognize what they are. You might not want to go engage if you know what something is. Adults feel like they've seen everything, but tweaking things so it looks familiar, but then change into this extraordinary way actually gets a holistic, different approach of interaction.
The original idea for Snark Park in general was to sort of grow some of the projects that we had done in other museum or gallery-like settings and create a space where we could control everything, right? Even the space that you walk through is a partnership with Kith Treats and Ronnie, and thinking about how we can engage that audience as well. We saw this opportunity to create a space that would be ours in its entirety, and we could control everything from, even when you're waiting in line here, this kind of claw machine that's engaging things that you may know or that you may have seen before, but it's performing in a different way. Kith Treats is in the entrance, so we'll carry all of the typical Kith Treats merch, as well as the Snark Park merch, and then a very limited selection of Snarkitecture designed objects, which are exclusively available here.
I think one of the things that's so different about Snark Park is that it's really the first permanent Snarkitecture space. We've designed permanent projects for many other clients, but we've really never designed one for ourselves, which is to say this installation that's inside of Snark Park will change 2 to 3 times a year, but it will always be a Snarkitecture installation. So if you come back 4 months from now, 6 months from now, there'll be a different project in here. So it's a space that will always be evolving. There'll always be something new here. It's an exciting opportunity for us to be able to experiment and try different ideas. Like, in many ways, we're thinking about this space as almost an incubator for the studio where we can be a little bit experimental. There might be things from our past that we thought were amazing ideas or amazing concepts that we now might have an opportunity to realize, and other of those things will be brand new, but in either case, they'll all be works that nobody has seen before.
You walk into a space, you see materials, you recognize what they are. You might not want to go engage if you know what something is. But when you see a texture and it looks maybe familiar, but the color is gone, certain cues are gone, you might be more inclined to go touch it, crawl on it. And that's what we really want, is that kind of direct interaction, but also curiosity. And like, adding that curiosity is sometimes enough for kids to come and engage, but also adults too. And adults feel like they've seen everything, but tweaking things so it looks familiar, but then change into this extraordinary way actually gets a holistic, different approach of interaction.
Snarkitecture has always worked in a very kind of limited palette, limited material palette as well. And a lot of our installations create scenarios out of things that people may have otherwise known or seen before. So it's presenting it to them sort of in a new context. These environments have invited people to engage with the space much like a child might, kind of thinking about some of the ways that children misrecognize or misuse architecture in general.
When we started Snarkitecture, it was 2008, and Daniel and I had met in school, and Daniel went to school for art, and I went to school for architecture. And one of the reasons we decided to create this practice was to have this sustained collaboration between art and architecture. It was really just this dialogue between Daniel and myself. And what changed as time went by and the studio grew was that there were more people in the studio. So the studio is really based on this collaborative model. In 2014, Ben joined us as the third partner, and so now there's this sort of, there's 3 of us as partners that are kind of guiding the studio in its direction. So there's certain projects where one partner might take lead, I think, in terms of steering the project, but it's really this collaboration between not only the 3 of us, but everyone in the studio as well. I hope that on a certain level that it's something that's fun. I mean, within New York in general, Snark Park can be a bit of a attraction or a diversion in the sense of something else to do here. It's very different than a lot of the other things that are not only in this building, but for that matter in this neighborhood and in the city. For us, it's a totally new model, so I hope that people in general have a meaningful and memorable experience here, but at the end of the day, there's also something fun about it.